Hello everyone, I am Thirteene, and tonight we're going to be playing another brew of mine. This one is called Training Familiar. Name could probably use a little bit of work, but essentially we're going to be using Training Grounds and the new Biomancer's Familiar. We're actually also going into Teamer. So the nice thing about this is kind of an underrepresented color in Modern at the moment. It's a very powerful color combination, but it just doesn't really have the pieces to make it work in Modern. It's still quite strong in Legacy. EDH, it's probably actually the best color combination that you can get. Just very powerful effects in all three throughout Magic's history, but we've kind of had it dialed back. And especially if you go look at the cons cards, like the Charm and some of their legends, like they were really underdone because what these three colors can do together is pretty strong, and they really didn't want to break anything. Anyways, onto this deck. So we are going to be using the old card and one of my personal favorites, Training Ground. It's a single blue, and all activated abilities of creatures you control cost 2 less, and as part of making it a functional deck, we actually got a second piece with the new Ravnica set, Biomancer's Familiar. Unfortunately, this is stapled to a creature, so it's a little easier to remove, but it is our copies 5 through 8 of Training Grounds. This allows us the exact same effect. Activated abilities of creatures, 2 less. The tap ability doesn't really mean anything in this deck, so it's a 2-mana 2-2, but it's going to help enable our combos here. So, this deck is using 2 combos. First of all, it's Umbral Mantle. So, we have some Mana Dorks. Lumbering Falls is hexproof, and that's worth noting because that means we're going to be able to protect it a little bit better. And Birds of Paradise is flying, which means it's going to have a little bit more evasion. And the way that this is going to work is Umbral Mantle is going to be equipped to the creature for free after we play it. And the key part of this combo is Umbral Mantle actually gives the creature the activated ability to untap it. So the cost of 3 with Training Grounds or Biomancer's Familiar is going to reduce the cost of that down to 1. And then we can pay 1 to untap the creature and give it +2/+2 until end of turn. So what's going to be able to happen is a Birds of Paradise is going to be able to tap for a mana, and then we're going to use that mana to untap it, giving it +2/+2, and we can make it infinite power and toughness. So that's going to be one of the primary ways that we win this game. Lumbering Falls is going to be the manland of choice here because it gives our creature hexproof, meaning that it can't be killed. And yeah, so that's going to be that part. And then because we're actually getting this powerful effect, there's a couple other really good things we can do. We could have gone into black and gotten Tassiger, been able to grind out card advantage, reduce the cost of Scarab God's activation to basically reanimate all creatures for 2 mana. But we're actually going to be going to one of the OG Guild Mages. Is a Guild Mage. The important thing to note on him is his activated ability does not require him to tap. So we can, with Training Grounds or Biomancer's Familiar out, pay blue and copy an instant we control, or pay red and copy a sorcery with converted mana costs 2 or less. So what this allows us to do is put a Manamorphose onto the stack, pay blue to copy the Manamorphose. The copy of Manamorphose will resolve, netting us 2 mana and drawing a card, and then we can use one of those 2 mana to copy the Manamorphose again. So we can get infinite mana and infinite card draw as long as we don't deck ourselves. So kind of going back to the deck, we end up having Walking Ballista as a way to pay off. Walking Ballista, if we have 2 Training Grounds or Biomancer's Familiars out, will cost 1 mana to put a 1/1 counter on it. With Manamorphose, that's a lot of mana. Assuming that we get the Guild Mage combo, we can draw into Emrakul, cast it, take another turn, and then just swing out with Annihilator. We also have the ability to copy our Serum Visions, our Lightning Bolts, our Remands. If we end up copying our Remands and we can actually get that late into the game, like, we can end up getting a lot of card draw just off of that. We can't continue targeting their spells, but we can copy our copies of Remand and return Remand to hand. 6 mana is essentially going to allow us to continuously do that. There is a loop with Noxious Revival that allows us to just continue casting Manamorphose if we have 2 Manamorphose and a Noxious Revival. And that goes infinite. Just putting the card back on top of our deck gets us infinite mana. It's a little bit too much to click through for Magic Online, which is why we have Emrakul. And just assorted lands. Most of our deck functions under 3 mana, so there's a lot of fast lands here. But yeah, this is a brew, and kind of just want to see where it goes. We have two essentially infinite combos, so there should at least be a little bit of power here. Again, these reduce cost by 2, but it can't reduce it to less than 1 mana. But we got our first pairing here. I've also been getting some feedback that our window is a little too big, so it's making it hard to see some cards, especially when I try to hover over them. So I'm going to expand that out. Opponent won the die roll. And is apparently tanking on if they need to keep their hand. So let's give them a moment. Alright, we have some action here. We can play just about everything in hand. No combo, but we have some core pieces and can play our hand. I'd keep this. It's probably not the best keep we can do, and I know I've been saying that a lot, but with new decks, you kind of have to figure out what hands you can mulligan and what hands you cannot. Here we're just going to lead on our Birds of Paradise. Sheltered Thicket is almost assuredly Valakut decks. They use this to cycle, and it's a mountain that they can go fetch that's going to enter tapped. Just a little bit more utility. It's already going to enter tap, so Primeval Titan is alright to do that. Seeing Arid Mesa makes me think that they are on an Amulet. And a Goyf. Interesting. Alright, so what do we have here? Goyf is currently a 1-2. Lightning Bolt will kill it, so I know I'm going to be doing that, and I need to do that first. Again with Goyf, it becomes a 3 toughness after the Lightning Bolt hits the graveyard and won't die to state-based action, so we had to get rid of that now. I really want to be able to hold up the remand, and I'd like to be able to get red mana, so I'm going to go ahead and lead on Misty here and ship it on to opponent. Seeing Goyf here is a little confusing. Sheltered Thicket is normally in combo decks, and Goyf is usually in creature decks. This is probably Zoo. I probably should have remanded that, but I'd rather go get some cards and see what we're actually working with. Seeing as our combo requires blue, I'm going to go with Steam Vents. Get our red source and a second blue source. And that's a Guild Mage, so we only need 3 mana to go off. I think I'm just running everything out here and seeing what opponent prioritizes higher. This is going to have to be green and blue. And then this can be blue-red. Opponent stopping to read Biomancer's Familiar. So far this is looking like it's green-red Zoo. Probably expecting a Bloodbraid Elf next turn. And I could tap for mana properly. That'd be nice. Again, opponent stopping to read, is it Guild Mage? So this is active. It may have been better to see if Biomancer's Familiar survives, but it looks like they left up red here for a bolt. So I'm expecting one of these creatures to die. I kind of want to see what they value higher. Yep, the obvious combo piece. I'm assuming it's going to be harder for them to interact with enchantments. There's the Bloodbraid, as expected. And they're on Loam. Interesting. Alright, so probably just going to kill the Goyf here. That's unfortunate. That would have been lethal. So we have 4 mana. We can copy Bolt, run out the Lumbering Falls. I think that's going to be the highest priority here. So hold control. Go for the Bolt. And then we're going to copy the spell. Same targets, and that means Goif is down. And may as well get in. I'm kind of expecting another Bloodbraid Elf here, but it's just going to have to be a risk that we take. I could potentially see a Tarka's command coming out of this deck if they're on the loam plan. Faithless Looting. Alright, this looks like a fun brew. Discarding 2 lands, they're running multiple Sheltered Thickets. At the beginning of your upkeep, reveal the top card of your library if it's a land. Oh, this is the one-shot deck. Okay. So the general concept here is they're going to try to repeatedly put lands into their graveyard to make this Crusher massive. And then it's going to be very large and come in and kill us. I have seen this deck. It's been a little while. I've never actually played against it, though. Alright, so Serum Visions is interesting. How much mana do I actually have to spend here? So I have 3. So I can Serum Visions, run out Umbral Mantle and equip it, and start going off, but that's going to require me to hit a couple of things here. So, Lumbering Falls is activatable. I think I want to copy Serum Visions. Just draw the additional card. So, Serum Visions. We're going to copy Serum Visions. Hopefully this will hit a land and we can at least hold up Remand. Oh, and there's the Training Grounds. Alright, so don't need a second Mantle. I'm kind of okay with Manamorphose. We won't have the mana cast it. I'd rather see a land. And again, not a land. So I'm okay to let the Guildmage chump block here. That land's not going to do anything. So I'll keep the Bolt just as a little bit of interaction, and the other land can go to the bottom. And I'm just going to run out our Training Grounds here, and it's going to be on our opponent to kill us this turn. Oh, the 4 to activate Lumbering Falls wouldn't be enough to Umbral Mantle as well. They're going to have to kill our birds here. Opponent has not made any actions with this Crusher yet. Revealing Birds of Paradise. So they have 1 card in hand and they're about to draw Birds of Paradise. They can Field of Ruin here. They do know we put a card on top. Yep, looks like they're going to try to shuffle it away. Lumbering Falls is a good pick. Go ahead and get a mountain. Forest is mainly in there so that we can cast Birds of Paradise without taking shock. And Guildmage gonna fight the good fight. He did. Alright, so that's not exactly what we wanted, but we can go ahead and start comboing here. So let's see if they've got the Bolt. They picked up 3 lands with life from the loam, so this should just be lethal. Again, opponent's taking a second to read it, figure out what's going on. Okay, so 0 equip cost. Going to tap for a mana. Untap it. Opponent, you might just want to F6 here, or they see the writing on the wall. Alright, so they are doing land shenanigans. I kind of want Dispel to get rid of any of their hate stuff. Bolts for the mana dorks or for the creatures. Relic would be interesting. Let's see, I'm actually going to try to pull up their deck list here. So they're on the loam plan. I guess the one-shot variant of this is actually just 4 of the giants and then pretty much all lands. And there's a lot of different weird variations of it out there. Relic would stop their loam engine, but I don't think I even remotely care about that. I think we're going to be better off with our current build. Green Man's just not going to cut it. Dispel's going to be better for what we actually care about. This will not hit life from the loam, but we're going to be comboing harder and faster. And then maybe just cut a Serum Visions. Our deck did exactly what it wanted to, though. It ended up going off through a couple of creature removal spells. We ended up taking advantage of our Guild Mage just to get some value out of it. And 0 mana. Looks like this is going to be a pretty easy mulligan. Opponent keeps. And a little awkward, but why not? No red mana. I don't necessarily care about their early interactions. I'd prefer to find a combo piece for one of these 2 training grounds. Again, training grounds is a little bit better for our initial game plan because the Biomancer's Familiar can just die, as our opponent killed it last game. And we'll see if they kept a bolt. Kind of okay if they bolt the bird here. Not really relying on him, but looks like they weren't on that. Alright, getting the loam engine running. And I'm just going to run out both training grounds. I'm going to wait a turn on Manamorphose to see if I can get an Is It Guild Mage, because we will just be able to combo off from there. Might have been better just to run out the Lumbering Falls. It would have come in tapped. Yeah, that was probably a mistake. Molten Rain, alright. Opponent's trying to get a little Ponza on. This feels like a good time to correct our mistake and run out Lumbering Falls this time. And I might need to Manamorphose, I highly doubt it, but not going to send a message with the bird. Opponent's on Tracker, expecting to play a long game. Alright. So it is worth noting that Lumbering Falls here is still going to cost 4 to become a 3/3 because it's not a creature and this only affects creatures you control. I am going to go ahead and just ship it back. I still want to try to get a Guild Mage first because we could just draw our deck and win on the spot. If we start to feel a little under pressure though, I'll just fire this off for a redraw. Opponent's tanking here. Not exactly sure why. I'm kind of expecting an Inferno Titan in our future. This looks like a variant of Panza. And I'm guessing he doesn't have birds. Or Swans of whatever, the card that combos with this. That is kind of annoying though, because that means that he can kill off any of our dorks for a land. And I think that does actually pressure enough if we want to redraw. Most of our creatures won't survive a land discard. And may as well get red and blue. Oh, that is most unfortunate. Alright. So Biomancer's Familiar is not really doing us any favors in hand, so just going to go ahead and run that out. Opponent's going to shoot it down pretty quickly. They can start dredging loam though, and they have fetch lands, so our creatures are under control for the most part. We need a Umbral Mantle, and for this Lumbering Falls to not get destroyed. Oh boy, they even have the Sheltered Thicket cycling plan going on. That's not the best. Alright, so we're actually pretty close to dying here. Yep, slipping away pretty quick now. Probably need to draw the Umbral Mantle this turn so we can run it out and then try to kill them the following turn. They will have a chump blocker. Let's see, they can crack 3 of these. We'd take 6. That would put us in range of 4 lands. We have to chump block here. Because we know of at least 2 cards in their hand that are lands, and they've got 2 more down here they can loam for 8 damage. Yep. Might have lost this one. That Seismic Assault was pretty painful. Also, probably should have just kept the Manamorphose as we did have an out. This is an interesting take on Lands Matter, though. A lot of the modern builds end up running Knight of the Reliquary, where Legacy Lands cares about the Grove of the Burnwillows and Punishing Fire combo. Opponent's also tanking pretty hard. Might have just had to step away for a moment. So if we draw another Manamorphose, we can still technically combo off through a single discard spell. but likely just going to die. Walking Ballista would end up coming down and getting 3 counters on it. That'd at least eat 2 lands out of our opponent's hand, but they're going to be able to cast Life from the Loam twice a turn, which means we're just dead. Opponent's running out their clock, though. And it looks like he disconnected. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording and try to do this in 2 parts. Alright, opponent came back. So we're going to grab our mountain here. They get their clue. Picks up 3 more lands. Again, it's looking pretty bad. But no, we'll... It's unfortunate that this costs so much. Alright, birds down. Alright, so Misty doesn't mean anything. I think we might have 1 more turn. It depends on how many cards the opponent has in hand. So they can crack clues for 1 damage or discard lands for 2. So they can technically draw 3 and then start discarding. Loam can also pick up 3 lands. So we're probably dead, but I'm going to make sure they have it. Technically, a Manamorphose here means we could come back. Alright, so he is loaming. Loam's going to pick up 3 lands, shoot more at us. Okay, yeah, he's got it. So, what do I actually care about here? Spreading Seas might be a little interesting. Echoing Truth could buy us a turn from the Seismic Assault. That'd probably just be for another Serum Visions. We're just going to have to combo faster. I would like to play first, and we have Is it Guild Mage, Umbral Mantle. I think I want to look for a harder combo start. Into no lands. We're running 23 lands, but I have a couple of cantrips, so I felt like that was safe. It does look like we're getting a little light on lands. Alright, that's rough, but that's where we're at. So I can Battlegrounds if I draw a land that's Guild Mage, and then if I draw a land that's combo, or I can Serum and just start setting up. I think I'm just looking for lands here. This is going to be the safer start. That can go on bottom. That can go on top. And ship it on over to opponent. Alright, so I think I'm just going to try to... I'm going to be comboing in 2 turns here regardless. So if I put down a Guild Mage this turn, next turn I'm going to have to Training Grounds and Manamorphose. I won't have ability to activate. If I... Yeah, so it's just Training Grounds this turn. And then just hoping opponent's not on Bolt or Stone Rain. Seismic Assault here would also be really bad. Alright, well there goes a land. Redundant combo piece is still pretty good though. Definitely going to be getting a red source. Then if they do happen to kill this, then we can still combo off next turn if we top deck a land. Yep, they've got the Bolt. Now they get to make a land drop, potentially hold up another Bolt. Alright, show me a land. There we go. Okay, so just to confirm, I need blue to copy an instant. Oh, I'm still actually going to need one more turn. Alright, well, let's hope they don't have another piece of interaction. For some reason, I was thinking it was going to be a Brawl and make that cost 1 less, but that's not the case. So, Seismic Assault's bad, Bolt's bad. Alright. Well, they've got their engine going, so... Oh, this is the version of lands that Seth made. This is an MTG Goldfish deck. I'm remembering that now. Alright, well, I'm not going to waste too much time. I'm going to see if Manamorphose gets this into anything useful. Birds of Paradise isn't useful, and opponent's got this game locked up. We have to be comboing to see a good number of lands, and that's just not going to happen with Seismic Assault out. Too much targeted removal, all of our stuff is 2 toughness. Like, I might chalk that one up to a bad matchup. If the opponent also had pretty good running. We had a very good combo hand in game 3, and they were able to Stone Rain, and we had to mold a 5. Overall, though, it's doing what it's supposed to. Like, we're seeing the parts of the deck we need to. The Emrakul still feels a little bit loose. We could probably have something better there, but that's MTGO consideration so that we can just win the game faster. Alright, well, we got our pairing for round 2. If opponent decides to join it. If we have another opponent playing as slowly as our last round, might need to re-record this video. Alright, we have birds, training ground, Manamorphose, a couple of bolts to interact with. I like it. Wooded foothills. Opponent's got an upkeep stop. That probably means that they have... Huh. It usually leans towards blue decks. As I say in the deck tech, there's not a lot of teamer decks around. Like, I think Eternal Command is the only one that comes to mind. Well, definitely running the fast land and going on birds. Basically see if they're going to bolt it. Kind of don't care if they bolt it. We have plenty of stuff to do here. Stomping ground, bolt. Alright, so this could mean Jund, it could mean Ponza, could mean Zoo. This is looking more like Zoo. Or this is Kiki Chord. We might just be a little bit faster than Kiki Chord. Alright, getting the training grounds out so that we can combo, holding up the lightning bolt. Seemed pretty obvious of the line, but still want to make sure I'm stating what I'm doing. Next turn, probably looking at getting Misty Rainforest for another 3 land. Although they could potentially be on Blood Moon. This could easily grab a forest. Alright, opponent. Getting a little tired of the stops. So, Misty Rainforest here. Essentially going to see if I need to get a basic or if I can just get another red source. Naya Wall of Omens leads itself to a couple of different things, but I'm assuming that this is going to be Kiki with Restoration Angel. Okay, so Steam Vents is going to be blue-red. That's going to get us 2 of every color. Another Misty is fine. Not great, but fine. This could potentially be Resto, Flickering Wall of Omens. If it is, I'm probably going to try to kill the Kiki that comes down next turn. Nope. Alright, so they're on blue, so this is basically Vanifear Pot again. Saheeli. Okay, so it's Felidar Guardian then. Really don't care about her until she's about to go off. so I think I just want Forest here. I'm still not putting... They're 4-color, but I'm not putting Blood Moon at a possibility just because people like to be greedy. Alright. I actually really like Walking Ballista with Lightning Bolt here. Still lets me trade 1 card for Saheeli. Opponent didn't leave up their blue mana, so I'm not really concerned about counterspells. Oh, that was a mistake. I have Training Grounds out. I can pump at will for the same cost as investing into the initial cost. I could have left 2 bolts up. Definitely a misplay. I don't think we're going to get punished too hard for it, but it's something I could have done better. Alright, opponent. I know it's a day for slow plays from opponent, but whenever you're ready. Lightning Helix on the Ballista. Yeah, that's fine. I'll make it say he doesn't gain life and counter a spell. Also fine by me. That means 1 less spell going towards one of our combo pieces. Still haven't seen a Lumbering Fall, so we won't have our Hexproof Claws yet for the Umbral Mantle if we find it. Also, given the colors from this deck, I'm expecting Knight of Autumn to definitely be in it. Although they probably would have blown up the Training Grounds by now. Yep, Felidar Guardian comes down. They draw a card. And we get a Serum Visions. Wow, coming up a little rough here. So we don't care about Storm Count. Metamorphose is just going to be a redraw card. So both of these are fine to go to the bottom. It is very possible that we die if they cast Saheeli and we don't have Lightning Bolt up. Breeding Pool can just come in tapped. Alright, opponent, what you got going on? Ewit to pick up Saheeli. Alright, so we have the Bolt. I'm going to recycle the Metamorphose in case we see a Remand, just so that Bolt holds a little bit more value. If we find the... Is it Guildmage? I'm going to be sad. I really need to stop doing that. Oh my gosh, I really need to stop doing that. Alright, so... Blinks Guardian. Guardian comes in, targets Saheeli. We bolt Saheeli. The sequencing there is so that they don't get the additional blink on another target. I'm okay to take 1 off the haste token. We do have a Metamorphose on the bottom of our deck, and we just used 1, so Is it Guildmage is looking less good there. And we just put a Birds to the bottom of the deck as well. So our opponent had to Ewit Saheeli, so they're on top deck as well. I think I just want to put as much mana out there as possible. Or as much power out there as possible. Whatever half the combo we draw, we draw. And put it on them to have a Lightning Bolt. Lightning Helix basically means that they're running all 4 Lightning Bolts. Alright. 100% expecting opponent to have top decked that. So they are on Copycat. Automatically put in the Echoing Truth. That can stop a combo for a turn. Spreading Seas can really mess up their mana, but I don't really think I want to water down my game plan that hard. I still like to spell for the interaction. They probably have at least the 4 bolts and the Lightning Helix, probably more Lightning Helixes. Coming out, that's probably just going to be some Serum Visions. They do feel like the weakest card in the deck since there are 2 strong strategies going on. Possibly an Umbral Mantle. This feels like it's hard to pull off, and the Dispels have to protect that game plan. Although it just might be Serum Visions and an Umbral Mantle. And I think that's what we're running with. Alright, so we have a turn 1 Birds, a turn 2 Biomancer's Familiar, turn 3 Kill, assuming we see a land. Alright, and then I definitely want Breeding Pool here. That's so I can cast the Biomancer's Familiar. I can also cast that half the Guild Mage, and anything will be able to cast a Manamorphose to fix me into it. If they do happen to bolt Bird here, I at least have Dispel up after they bolt it, assuming we don't hit a land drop. Would feel bad to have to cycle a Manamorphose here to hit a land drop, but given we have 2, feels safe enough. Alright, and opponent continues the tanking streak. Fetching here probably means bolt. Yep, bye bird. Alright, well, that's why we do what we do. We'll see if they're on the Helix plan or if they're just dropping a 2-drop here. Oath of Nissa. So this is a flicker target for Felidar Guardian to draw a card. Can get a creature, a land, or a planeswalker, which is their combo pieces and their mana fixing. So they get Wall of Omens. And I do have to Manamorphose here to try to find a land. And I want blue-red. That's not great. I'm going to have to run out the Guild Mage with no protection. So opponent can be on Saheeli here. Or just get out the Wall of Omens, try to draw into the bolt. I think they know they're about dead. Second Oath of Nissa. I've already made their land drop though. Feels Ewit. Ewit will be able to pick up bolt next turn. Alright, so now we get to do the fun stuff. It's going to be green 1, hold control, cast Manamorphose, copy spell, I think I'm done holding control now. I just need blue-blue. And then we get to draw our deck here. Alright, all the fun clicking. Alright, opponent just scoops it up. They know we can draw our entire deck with all the mana. Alright. I really like Serum Visions being able to fix our a little bit more awkward draws, especially since we have 2 combos we can go into. But it might be correct just to try to decide to do 1 combo if we have to board aggressively. Alright, so little rough here, but willing to give it a shot. We have the Birds of Paradise and Umbral Mantle, as well as a little bit of interaction. We can kill Saheeli if they're on a quick combo. Yep. Ooh, Meddling Mage. Well, I know what my bolt's pointed at. Opponent, do you have a bolt? Opponent is apparently missing land drops. Either that or didn't think that the Meddling Mage was worth it yet and was looking for a land for Lightning Bolt. Nope. Opponent's missing land drops. Alright, so I can Biomancer's Familiar, hold up Lightning Bolt. That'll put out Umbral Mantle and we can combo the following turn. Seems pretty good. So then these 3 will put out Umbral Mantle. This just combos. Yep. Helix. Yep. That's why Training Grounds is a little bit better, harder for the opponent to kill. They are missing their land drops though, which is kind of nice for us. Alright, so I can put out Umbral Mantle. As long as I have 2 mana up, that means I could actually protect the bird from Bolt. It's probably right. It's a little sad we can't leave up Remand here, but opponent's not comboing off. They need at least 2 more mana before they can cast Feldar Guardian. Alright, so I can have Remand, Bolt, tap, untap, tap, untap. I can hit for 4. That seems fair. Oh, it's going to cost 3 to untap it. Never mind. That's a message, opponent. You can have a Birds of Paradise come at you with equipment and still not take damage. Alright, hand is getting crafted pretty nicely. Just looking for a Training Grounds. Alright, so still kind of just holding up interaction. Really want to stop drawing lands here. This deck functions on 3. They're discarding their combo, which means they have a lot of things, and still drawing lands. Getting in for 2 is not going to mean a whole lot. When this deck wins, it wins through a big combo hit. So I can be untapping, but without the training grounds, I suppose it doesn't mean a whole lot. I'd love to draw a card. Thank you, opponent. And opponents should know they're never comboing off either. Opponent figures the missing land drops are more important than helixing my combo piece. Assuming that we can put out a training grounds, we can just win off the lumbering falls, so hallelujah. Alright, well we got both combos. GG's opponent. Alright, let's go ahead and go on to the next round. And I am so bad at updating records. We are currently 1-1. We lost against the Seismic Lands, and we beat Saheeli combo. We will take the play. And we have 2 halves of combos here. Alright, Wooded Foothills. Going to get our breeding pool so we have all 3 colors. Untapped, and Serpent Visions. Do not need a 3rd Umbral Mantle. Birds of Paradise is a combo piece, so we'll hang on to that and ship it on back. Alright, so is it Phoenix? Unfortunately, they have Gut Shots and Lightning Bolts for our Birds of Paradise and Biomancer's Familiar, and is it Guild Mages? And they already got an Arclight in the graveyard. Alright, well, we will see if they can bolt our bird. I actually don't think I want a thing in the ice on the other side. If we start to combo off, returning everything to hand is going to slow us down a lot. Yep, there's the Manamorphose, which means Phoenix is coming back. Wow. Ooh, that's unfortunate. Depending on how many Phoenixes we're looking down, this could be very bad. Just the one. And opponent's already blown their Manamorphose, so this should be kind of productive. Remand almost helps them here. I'm going to run out the Is it Guild Mage? No, I'm not. So we have 3 mana. It means I can Umbral Mantle, equip, and then if they don't kill anything, just win next turn with the Biomancer's Familiar. That feels most correct. Pteramander. Aw, no fun, opponent. Yeah, that's pretty good. Alright, so I have Biomancer's Familiar. I also have Is it Guild Mage. This combo is going to require a Mana Dork. Lumbering Falls is going to come in tapped, and the Birds of Paradise is going to have Summoning Sickness. I think that puts me on Guild Mage. It's going to feel really bad if they kill it, but we already do have this combo in hand for if we ever combo off, so that seems fine. We are on a 4-turn clock from the Pteramander, potentially 3, assuming they have another Lightning Bolt, which they probably do. If these 4 cards combo off, they get the Phoenix, they're attacking in for 8. We wouldn't be able to crack the Misty. Alright, opponent looks like they're kind of on blanks. And I want to take the least amount of damage from this as possible. I don't think the clock changes significantly enough. They're going to bolt. Alright. They are deep in the tank for that. That's fine, though. We had no interaction for it. We need Steam Vents. Alright, Serum Vision, see what we can set up. There's the Birds of Paradise. I really wanted a land. But we can see if we can just combo off next turn. It's probably correct to equip this here just in case. Alright, so opponent has 3 cards in hand. They have a Faithless Looting in the bin. They can very much get this Arclight Phoenix back. I'm more concerned about their ability to chump block, though. Yep. And we are dead on board. Alright, that was pretty brutal. I want Relics for sure. I want Dispels for sure. Echoing Truth could be an argument. They have to invest in the Phoenixes. The Pteramanders would have Summoning Sickness. As far as cuts, I don't believe I want Walking Ballista here. Serum Visions is probably going to be one of the first things I look at cutting. Maybe an Umbral Mantle and a Remand? All the Remands. I think I'd rather have Serum Visions. And the Walking Ballista. This can still ping off a Pteramander before it adapts. The argument here, Remand, is they have a lot of 1-mana spells they just want to recast. Serum Visions doesn't really advance our game plans. They're just really good cards to copy and get attrition. Relic's going to just stop their graveyard for a lot of things, and Dispel's going to make it so that they can't kill our creatures as easily. Or Manamorphose to combo into getting Phoenix back. And this looks fine. Not great, but fine. Alright, we will take the shock, put out the bird. See if they take a turn to bolt it. They probably brought in a Braids. Alright, no Phoenixes so far. And kind of an anemic draw. This might have been a mulligan. We have 3 slow lands. Alright, still no Phoenixes. Just cantripping away, sculpt in the hand. Our own Manamorphose is alright. Ha! Go birds, go! You did good. No one expected any more of you. Thing in the ice. Alright, no problems there yet. I do really like Relic. So when you're using Relic, you want to give them the least opportunity to take advantage of whatever they're doing. So they have plenty of outs here, but I'm going to make them get rid of a card before they can pitch another land they don't care about. Oh, I didn't play a land. That's fine. Alright, so they did get an Arclight Phoenix. We have Dispels and Relic up, so that's all fine. Thing flipping will be a little annoying, but we can deal with that. Another good reason for Echoing Truth. Thing in the ice. Kind of don't care about that. Okay, so we're going to get priority before combat if they do get another spell off. I don't think there's anything we care about that could hit the graveyard. So they did bring in a Braids and Anger of the Gods. Thought Scour's fine. Birds comes back to hand. We'll be taking 7 for the current moment. This is going to be Crack Relic. And another land. Alright. Unfortunately, I have to cycle Manamorphose here. I need to see what plays I can make. We want at least one red and a blue. Training Grounds is fine. Play out the Birds of Paradise and the Relic. Play a Wooded Foothill so we can get red, and we can chip it back. So, almost regardless, I'm going to be cracking this Relic unless I have to use Dispel. If we draw into Umbral Mantle, we can still technically win. Cracking this fetch is going to put us within bolt range, though. They probably have 2 with this sequencing. We'll counter one. GG's opponent. That feels very hard. They have a lot of removal. It seems like this deck doesn't do great with a lot of removal spells, seeing as part of our combo pieces are basically 12 creatures. Phoenix also has the giant upside of being able to kill us before we can activate Lumbering Falls with plenty of mana left over, and they also have a Braids. That might just be a little bit on the rough side. I am quite happy to keep this, though. The Guild Mages are going to be some decent value on our 1 CMC spells. And opponent is on blue-white. I think I'd rather not show them the Copperline Gorge. Make them think that we are possibly infect. Budget infect. Or malaria pod, or not malaria pod, Xanafair pod. Or just something along those lines. This is less proactive to going to do kind of unfair things. Then want to start off on Serum Vision, see if we can use this Wooded Foothills. Do not need an Umbral Mantle. Another Fast Land's perfectly okay. Play our Fast Land, and I think we're just on Guildmage. See if they've got the removal for the first one. This is possibly going to get pathed. That's going to screw up our Serum Visions, but don't really care if we get that other Fast Land. If anything, that might just be telegraphing that they should probably path us. Alright. Opponent hasn't done anything so far. So I can bolt and copy it. That would really only matter if they put Jace down. I think I want to run out Umbral Mantle. I know it's going to get countered for the most part, but... Alright. Staying back, birds can pay for bolt. Alright, there's the Jace. Let's see if we get bounced. So it's probably better for them to wait to resolve Brainstorm so they don't know that they're going to be down to Jace when selecting cards, but kind of just want to get my F6 value in here. And assuming they're on Miracles, I don't want to commit any more creatures to the board. Get in for some chip damage. It may actually matter versus control if we can't ever combo off. Yep, there's the Terminus. I don't want to shuffle these creatures in, so cracking the fetch now. And I want Steam Vents. So, run out the same creatures. And if they stack 2 Terminus, okay, they didn't. So if I draw a land, I can triple bullet off the Guildmage. Smart play from opponent. Okay, so that's 4, 5, 6. That's going to be copy it. Assuming this makes contact, we'll have lethal in hand. If they decide to Field of Ruin again, we'll get 2 activations out of the single bolt. Teferi's fine. In fact, he might just be dead here. So go for the bolt. Hold control. We need to keep priority. Wait, what? Why didn't that work? Okay, well, if that is lethal, I'll be very sad. They also get out untap for Cryptic. Oh, well, land still should be lethal. Alright, opponent's not taking action. I'm going to try to wait until they tap down or try to interact so that we can tax their mana a little bit more. They have 4 untapped, which is just a little painful. Alright, so definitely going to try to do it now. So holding control, lightning bolt for a red. Then we copy. Then we copy. Same targets. Same targets. There we go. Okay, so versus control. Definitely Dispel's coming in. There's an argument for Relic, but being a blue-white player, I really don't mind when my opponents bring in Graveyard Hate. It just means that they have one less impactful card. The nice thing about Relic is it cantrips as opposed to Rest in Peace. It stops his Conta and Snapcaster Mage, but those just don't feel strong enough to bring hate in. Blue-white has Rest in Peace in the sideboard. That should tell most people how they feel about the strength of the graveyard. Echoing Truth can hit a Planeswalker. I really don't think I care. Spreading Seas can hit his Conta and Colonnade. That's probably a consideration, but we're already bringing in 4 Dispels. I think 4 Umbral Mantles is just too much. They don't do anything on their own. You need to have 2 other pieces for them. Serum Visions can be cut and Remand can be cut. We didn't see a Cryptic out of them, and that's going to be the biggest tempo play, snagging Cryptic. Possibly a Planeswalker. We can try like that, though. And we are very close to getting either combo kill, so this is keep. Opponent leading on Colonnade again. And we actually have the combo here, so let's see how hard our opponent respects it. Alright, Blind Terminus, fine. Snagging birds. So I know some of these lists run Disenchant or Detention Sphere. I think I want to Training Grounds and Dispel. Then I can Is it Guildmage and go for the win. Opponent said it. They say I need to bolt the bird. Alright. I like it when my opponents are playful with me. It usually makes for a more fun game, and I know that the opponents are at least enjoying what they're doing. So we have 3 fast lands, which means we're probably waiting on Lumbering Falls. They probably have Path Up. I'd like to protect our Guildmage with Dispel if possible. That's probably meaning that Lumbering Falls is coming in tapped so I can Training Grounds. That's the best argument I can make. Because if all they're doing is trying to path as a Guildmage, then we can try to do a lot more than that. so I can... Okay, so I can protect Izzet Guildmage here. If I lose him, that'd be incredibly disappointing. But I think I have to. If they're on double path, it's just so bad. Opponent did recognize that we'll have infinite with the Umbral Mantle. Alright, so opponent might be on Jace here. If he is, we just win. Timely reinforcements doesn't do anything. And then we have the win through Dispel now. Although we had to draw this land. I just realized that this is a fast land. Alright, so run out Misty. We're going to fetch it now. Make sure we have all of our mana up so our opponent can't interact in the middle. We need blue for Manamorphose, so Steam Vents it is. Hold control, Manamorphose. Alright, and then we need this one to resolve. Getting blue, blue. Alright, so copying Manamorphose. Alright, backup is good in case we misclick. Opponent said they want to see the card that gives the birds haste, but we're running Emrakul to just make this a little bit better. Alright, we can also training grounds here. I need to at least make one of each of the other colors just to make sure I don't whiff. So we actually have 14 copies. Just going to go ahead and bolt the opponent out. I think opponent's going to scoop it up. Yep. Opponent can look at hand if he's interested. That was a good game. Got to see both combos. With a little tuning, I could actually have a lot of fun with this. It's a little sad that we have two combos and they are not synergistic with each other. Oh well. Be really nice if we could cash out with this. Going on to the last round. Looks like we're on the draw. We have birds, training ground, remand, and a serum. I'm alright with that. So gonna have to go get steam vents here. And it looks like we're playing against Eldrazi. Potentially Tron. Well, there's part of the other combo. Oh, no, I need Stomping Grounds for the birds. Might also be Manamorpho. No, I guess I can't. At least birds will give us any color if it doesn't get spatial contortioned. Looks like Matter Reshaper. Ooh, a Scourge. Okay, so this might be the Serum Powder version. Alright, so I can have Bolt. I can just do Biomancer's Familiar. Remand seems pretty decent. Biomancer's Familiar is a better use of our mana. I'm not going to be bolting this because they can just recast it. Next turn's probably going to be Serum Visions into Remand. There's a Spatial Contortion. Ooh, a Dismember. Alright, that's fine. If our opponent doesn't get much of a clock on, we're probably going to combo before they can kill us. In fact, that's a pretty good way for us to just win. So I like the Serum Visions plan into Manamorphose if we need the mana. We drew a land. We can just run out Training Grounds, hold up the Bolt, then Umbral Mantle should be lethal. So bottom that, top that, I'd like a mana for next turn. Blue here for the Training Grounds. And then probably going after the Scourge. If they end up dropping a Reality Smasher, definitely grabbing the Mimic. Opponent should be dead on the backswing. Another Scourge is fine. So they only have 2 mana up. I'm going after the Mimic here because it does represent the most after shapeshifting. Chalice on 1. Alright, we don't care about that. Should be game. We'll play this tap just for completion's sake. Another pause to read. And infinite damage in the air. So, Eldrazi. Ancient Grudge for Chalice, potentially Spreading Seas for Temple. This might be sideboarding too hard. I do want the Grudges for Chalice. Remand isn't... Remand can keep them off of their finisher for a turn. Alright, with Serum Visions again, possibly 2 Umbral Mantles, keep in 1 Serum. And no turn 1 Chalice. If we see any of our reduced cost, we can just win here. Plus we're on the draw, so we'll see 1 more. Steam Vents will give us everything that we need, so go ahead and just lead on that and Serum. So I can put Ancient Grudge on top, but if they don't Chalice, it's pretty dead. I can't fetch to get rid of it if I don't see a Chalice. It might just be worth hanging on to. I can get 2 artifact destructions out of it. Yep. Not too surprised by that. So I can Ancient Grudge here. It's probably the best. And I'm not going to show it to opponent in case they are holding on to a Chalice for next turn in case this one gets destroyed. Just better to do it in step. Ooh, thought not. Alright, that means we have to destroy this. And we're going to be taking some beats here. Wonder what they go for. Probably the Guild Mage. The Manamorphose. Alright. I mean, they're both pieces to the combo, so... Alright, so... Leading on Serum, got to see what we draw into. There's the birds with the Umbral Mantle. Put that on top, that on bottom. Play the birds. We do not want to fetch here. Actually, we might. The Umbral Mantle's only going to combo with the birds, and we're on a 2-turn clock. We can see. It's not going to be strong enough. We need 2 cards here. Guessing this is Reality Smasher? Nope, just another Mimic. So taking 6. Make that 7. Against this particular list, Anchor might be alright. Yeah, and we're just dead if we draw that mantle, so gotta fetch it away. I don't think we have an out, though. Yep. Alright. That was a pretty fast start. There's definitely faster with a lot of turn 2 thought knots, but... yeah, let's just run it back. Can't imagine Anger's worth it. Okay, we have Bolt, Training Grounds, Remand. That's a mulligan. Nothing. Alright, well, that is a Training Grounds. Exiling Scourge. Serum Powder. Alright, that means their hand's pretty good if they're getting rid of the Serum Powder. We want Steam Vents. This was effectively a 4-card hand with Emrakul in it. And that's going to be annoying. We did get our mana, though. I'm going to try to keep as much pressure off as possible. Biomancer's Familiar is going to tax the Ratchet Bomb. They're going to have to go after one or the other. Then, what do we even care about here? If we see an Izzet Guildmage, it's just going to get blown up by Ratchet Bomb. Birds of Paradise into Umbral Mantle, maybe? So, if I see a Izzet Guildmage, then I'm going to need one more mana anyway. I'm on a 3-turn clock. Versus needing to get 2 mana to activate this and an Umbral Mantle or a Birds and an Umbral Mantle. I think this just might be a loss. Yeah, the Manamorphose is a little bit of an awkward draw in this deck. You just don't want to blow it away, but it cantrips if you're looking for combo pieces. Alright, other Reality Smasher. I don't think there's anything we can draw here. Definitely not a land. Yikes, and them is the beats. Alright, taking the honorable way. GG's opponent. Alright, so ended up going 2 and 3. I like this deck. It does 2 infinite combos with some synergistic pieces, but the problem with anything like this is going to be a lot along the lines of the power of Devoted Druid Vizier combo. You need to have 2 creatures that stick on the battlefield that don't necessarily do a lot on their own. The Izzet Guildmage is a pretty good mana sink later in the game, and it's a decent way to get card advantage off the Serum Visions. The Biomancer's Familiar's second text box regarding Adapt is not really relevant. Like, we might be able to put like a Terramander in this deck or something, but at what cost? We might be able to just go all in on the Izzet Guildmage plan. Just drop the Umbral Mantle and... yeah, I'm not really sure. But this does have a lot of the pieces to work. Eldrazi was hard. They're just big. They came out fast enough. If they're deck Dirtles at all, we might have a decent shot. We also lost against Blue-White. And that was a... they had the removal and counter spells. Probably might need more remands or possibly some negates in the sideboard. Yeah, I mean, just reducing the activated cost is pretty good. If we have a Walking Ballista out, it would really be good to just be able to pay 1 to get a 1/1 counter and ping anything. We might want to cut a lot of this just for Walking Ballistas. They can come out as early as turn 2 and just grow exponentially. Turn 1, Training Grounds, turn 2, Walking Ballista. But our opponents got caught off guard a lot, so I don't know if that actually did benefit our matchups. When your opponents don't know what you're doing, it's a little harder for them to gauge when they can tap out and what pieces are more important when they're thought nodding or discarding. Manamorphose getting copied also is a little clunky for MTGO. At least in paper, you can count out your deck, be like, I'm iterating the loop 30 times, draw 30 cards, get 30 mana, just Banefire them. A lot of stuff here, though, and it's a lot of fringe pieces. Like, even our Blue-White opponent was saying that it's a really unique build, and he had no chance to tap out. It kind of felt like Splinter Twin, but it needed 3 pieces. It was lower CMC. Well, I'd actually be interested to see what other people think about this because I don't know what direction to take it in. There's too many core combo pieces. The Serum Visions, the Remands, they can come out, but they just are really powerful. Yeah, so if you're actually watching this, comment what you think this could do better. Yeah, I just don't have the words. Well, everyone, thanks for watching, and have a good one.